Lock Nation, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy week to watch this video. For those of you who are outside of the United States, it's Thanksgiving this week for us here in the United States of America. And honestly, I can't think of a better way to celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday than to react to some Thanksgiving fails. And before we begin, I just want to give a big shout out to those who are in the retail space, because it seems like, you go around from saying how thankful you are because you're with your family and friends on Thanksgiving and those who you love, to not even like 10 hours later, like, at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and you're like pushing each other out of the way, trying to grab all these great deals on Black Friday. But thankfully and hopefully, some of that has kind of died down because Black Friday specials have already started. But without further ado, as I just mentioned, we're going to be reacting to some Thanksgiving fails, as you can tell from the thumbnail or the video title. So let's watch the first one. Now keep in mind, I did have to mute probably 95% of these because they had copyrighted music on there, and I didn't want to get a copyright strike or anything like that. So let's watch. Aw, she looks so precious. Okay, yeah, she's adorable. Some nice photos. Yeah, she's definitely adorable. And there it is. There's the waterworks. She is not happy whatsoever. Poor little girl. So the thing, I want to point out a few things about that. I love the fact that with this, she looks very pleasant and content right here. She's like, I'll cooperate for you guys. But then as you get down to it, when you get further down, she is just like, I'm done. Like it's like right about, we'll start right there, and then it's the next one after this. Nope, excuse me, one more. There we go. She's just like, I'm done, people. Just get me out of here. I'm done. It's amazing what parents do just to make sure they get the great photos for Instagram and other social media. Like, I mean, this is probably what I'm gonna do with my kids, especially being a photographer. Like, I'm probably gonna tell my kids, like, all right, smile. Like, I want to see those pearly whites. Smile. And they're probably gonna be uncooperative. They're probably gonna be pissed off at times. They're probably gonna give the looks of anger or the cheesy faces that. So it's amazing what parents do. But let's watch the second one. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, they're all taking photos. Okay, this is great. Oh my gosh, that is so true. That is so true right there. This is what the equivalent is of holidays for us men. Look, I'm gonna be completely honest here. Like, this is probably what's gonna happen to me when I am married. Look, I mean, I'm single. I'm not advertising myself, but this is what I'm gonna be doing. Like, I'm just gonna be sitting there like, are you done? Like, are you done? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Are you done getting your photos? Because guys, come close. We all know that, like, especially when it comes to like Thanksgiving, like, we've been going all day, not really eating too much because we want to save room for the big Thanksgiving dinner. And, by this point, you're probably really hungry. You're like, oh, I'm starving. I could just eat anything right now. And so you see this amazing looking and this amazing food that looks delicious, and the first initial thought is you want to grab some and start eating. But most women, as we can tell from right here, they're just like, no, we got to get the photos. We got to get the photos. You cannot touch the food until we get the photos. Okay, that's exactly how my wife is probably going to be. She's probably going to say, like, Tony, you can't touch the food until I get some photos. I got to throw it up on the Instagram page or on any other social media page. But really, when it comes down to it, like, guys, you can attest to this. Like, when we get hungry, sometimes we can get angry because we're so hungry that we're impatient, and so we become hangry. But we also know that when women get impatient and hungry, they become hangry, and it's even more unpleasant. So, men out there, make sure you take care of the women in your lives on Thanksgiving and in the holidays, because it's just not fun. You don't want them turning green and saying that they're going to smash everything. It's a total nerd reference. Hopefully you understood that reference, but let's just finish watching this because this is exactly how I would be. All right, next one. All right, so I'm going to pause this for a sec because it says, POV, trying to get a cute pic of mom and dad throwing leaves up in the air. Oh my gosh. Like, I mean, it's creative. That's creative, but it was also a fail. Like, that's definitely a fail in my books. You know, you see someone like that and you're just like, hey, you know, actually I've had clients come up to me like as a photographer, like, hey, do you have any suggestions on like creative poses we could do in these photo sessions? And like, you know, I've given them tips, I've given them some suggestions, you know, like the majestic look. I've talked about that in videos in the past. And honestly, there's one story that comes to my mind, which I could share in horror stories from a photographer part 2 if you guys are interested. So if you are, make sure you tell me in the description below if you want to hear that, because I can relay so many experiences, good and bad, from people wanting to be creative or when their kids are just not being cooperative. But I want to watch that one more time because it's crazy. I mean, the creativity's there, but the timing was not. Boom. But it looked like the husband and wife looked like they're happy. Like that was a great laugh for both of them. And I'm sure the kid that took the photo was great, had a great time too. So creativity at its finest, right? All right, next one. Okay, so it's a nice Thanksgiving dinner. Oh no! Oh, that looks like it hurt. Oh my gosh. That doesn't look fun at all. So, sorry, I had an itch right there in my eye. I have to take care of that real quick. But I really wanted to talk about this for a sec because, you know, this is just a nice casual dinner. Nice casual Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone's, you know, kind of going around and they're making sure, you know, they're getting their food. They're like just enjoying time with their loved ones. And there's like, this is so much fun. But then you have this person right here in the gray shirt, and they're standing on the couch, which as a kid, like if I had done this as a kid, I would have been yelled at, number one. My mom would have scalped me for that. But number two, like, I mean, you can tell that he or she is just very happy that they're with family. Like, I mean, this is what Thanksgiving is about, being with those you love. And then as you can tell, she steps down and then trips over the ottoman and then just lands right on her back. Oh, that sucks. It's embarrassing and it's funny, but it sucks. And I'm sure that the family had a bit of a chuckle out of that because, I mean, I know that I would have had a major chuckle out of this, like, especially like, because I'm the accident prone one in my family. I'm the one that people always remind. They always remind me of stories of things that I've done wrong. But anyway, that's unfortunate. Just be mindful of your surroundings, right? All right, next one. All right, so these are family bloopers. I came across this because I thought this is perfect because as a photographer, I'm going to turn that off real quick. As a photographer, I've had these kids, not these specific kids, these kind of kids that were just uncooperative. They didn't really want to be there. They weren't smiling or they were over smiling. You know, they're doing that cheese face, and so let's just watch this and you'll know what I'm talking about. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Family photo blooper. Yeah, see, he doesn't look like he's happy. He looks so sad. Poor kid. He doesn't look, he's like, don't talk to me. And he's just like, I'll smile, I'll smile, I'll smile. And like I said, I've had experiences like this where either kids were being so overly dramatic in their smiles, like where they're doing the cheeser face, or they're just like, I don't want to be here kind of look. I've had those, and I can tell you those stories if you want in an upcoming video, horror stories from a photographer part 2. So make sure you tell me in the description if you want to hear those stories, because man, there's some doozies in that. All right, go on to the next one. Okay, so Lock Nation, we've seen this before. But let me read the caption for you. It says, "Food photography gone wrong." Now, I've reacted to this one before, and I've decided to react to it again because this is something it's a struggle, you know. As a photographer, you know, especially even just as like someone who's wanted to take some great photos of your food, this kind of stuff happens all the time. But in a sec, I'm going to give you a few tips of what I would suggest you to do if you wanted to take some great food photography photos of your Thanksgiving dinners or your holiday upcoming dinners. But let's just watch the video. All right, let me start this over. Ooh, look at her face. She's just like, okay, so those tips. You know, instead of just, like, if you're using your smartphone, which everyone has a smartphone. I know you watching this, I know you have a smartphone. Don't just take a photo, or don't just take the photo. Try going at it from different angles. And then, if anything, like take 3 or 4, maybe 5, or even 6 for that matter. Post them all on social media, whether it be Instagram, Twitter X, Facebook, whatever the social media platform you use to post these on, and just ask people what they think their favorites are. And from that, you'll be able to determine which ones you could keep and which ones you want to just get rid of. Now, if you're using this guy, one of these guys, again, go at it from different angles. Don't just aim down, you know, kind of crouch down, go around, and all that. But be creative. Don't just do the one pick and you're done. Just my little tip for you. All right, and then the very last one. Yes, it's a leaf one. I love this one. Everyone's just like, yeah, this is great. Even this little kid in the red shirt, he's just like, this is great. And then, oh my gosh, look at her. We gotta watch that again because I was talking too much. I apologize for that. But oh my gosh, like everyone is just loving this. Like, that person right there in the dark hair, he's just like, yeah. And then this kid in the red shirt that you can see right here in the left corner, basically, he's loving it. He's just like, this is so much fun. But then you can see this, you see that arm kind of like flaying around. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a sec. This lady, I feel so bad for her because, like with that other one where the lady tripped over the ottoman, I'm sure the family had quite the chuckle with this lady and her being so traumatized over this. So awkward. I feel so bad for her. I want to watch this again because it's just so funny. Again. Gotta watch it again. Everyone's looking at it like they're just having fun, even with leaves in their hair. And then you have her. She's just like, that's just awkward. I cannot emphasize it enough. Like, that's just awkward. Like, I'm sure she has to this day not lived that down. I'm sure her family's like, oh, don't act traumatized in your photos for the family. And she's probably like, you're funny. Can we just drop that? That was like 5 years ago. Can you just drop that? But with that being said, guys, Lock Nation, I am thankful for you. You know, as a photographer, I come across a lot of people. Now, you, the Lock Nation, I'm so thankful that you've stayed on this journey with me, and I wanted to give a big shout out to those who are in the retail space because, as we all know, retail workers around this time of year, they go through a lot of crap from people. So for those of you who are working in the retail space, thank you for being patient with all of us. And I hope you have a great holiday season nonetheless. And I will see you in the next video.